Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode. In our previous session, we discussed what are DFOs. We defined each component of them data, facts, and observations, and we highlighted why medical insights are critical and very important. Today, in this episode, we will focus on transferring the data, facts, and observations into medical insights. And of course, at a later stage, we will discuss how can we transfer the medical insights into actionable insights. So today, we are going to generate insights from data, facts, and observations. So let's get started. Let's first set our objectives. As field medical team, we want to generate meaningful medical insights. And you remember that we mentioned that in order to create and generate medical insights, you have to capture them immediately after you finish the key opinion leader interaction. If you keep them to be reported later, you may not recall all the important details of the conversation, and this will influence the value or the outcome of the medical insight. So, medical insights are very important, critical, and they need to be meaningful in order for them to influence the strategy or the decision making. So we need to create or generate meaningful insights, not any insight. The other important thing in order to reach meaningful insights is to focus and practice very good active listening during the conversation with the key opinion leader, not to misunderstand any insight or not to forget later on what was mentioned. And you can have several tools to help you to capture all the conversation, including recording if this is allowed and after the consent of the key opinion leader, or simply take notes while having the conversation. Let's discuss the first case study. Let's say that you are MSL in one big organization and you are working on a medication that has been launched since a couple of years and the product is doing well and the efficacy and safety are established. And your competitors just launched a new medication for the same condition, claiming, according to the data they have, that it has higher efficacy rate than your established product. After meeting multiple key opinion leaders, you felt or you got the observation that key opinion leaders are impressed with the efficacy data of the new competitor. You took this as a note, you captured the observation, and had a discussion with your colleagues. Now, we need to generate the insights. We need to generate the medical insights. But before doing that, let's do some analysis to the situation. Your product has been in the market since 2 to 3 years. The key opinion leaders are comfortable with its efficacy and its safety. There is no concern, and whenever there is an adverse event, you report it. However, the new medication has revitalized the efficacy issue, now claiming that they are more effective than your established product. While your marketing message in your organization is not anymore focused on the efficacy data because the product is already in the market since 3 years. And probably your marketing strategy is focused on expanding the product base to reach different markets or to different remote areas or to include partnerships with different patient advocacy groups, but not necessarily focused on the efficacy parameter. So in this case, you see that we are lagging behind because we are not leveraging the strengths of the product anymore, and probably we need to go back and remind the healthcare community of the efficacy data of our medication. And here, the observation that you got in the key opinion engagements that you conducted over a certain period necessitates you to capture these important insights. And here the insights would be: there is a need for probably educational programs on efficacy data, probably more data to demonstrate the efficacy in the local population, or changing the marketing strategy to capture the efficacy parameters of our medication, because our competitor is creating a lot of noise because they position themselves as superior in reducing the signs and symptoms of the condition. So, with some visits with key opinion leaders, you got the observation and you have captured the insights that something here is needed. Either it's more data, so generate real world data in order to address the efficacy in the local population, or you need more education to remind the healthcare professionals about the advantages and the value proposition of your product in the local population with the efficacy in the focus, or probably you need your commercial colleagues to start thinking about endorsing this medical insight to change the marketing or the branding strategy and focus once again on the efficacy parameters now that there is a new competitor in the market. So you can see here from this case study that the insights that were generated can generate multiple actionable insights. Let's later talk about how to transfer the medical insights into actionable insights. However, for now, the medical insight is the need for more data, the need for more educational programs, the need for change in the marketing plan or the marketing strategy or the marketing message. So, this is an example of one observation captured in your key opinion leader engagements. Let's move to the next case study. Your organization launched a new medication to treat a rare condition. Despite all the insights that were gathered during the pre launch phase, when you started visiting the key opinion leaders after the launch, you observed that they have low interest to discuss this product, the new product, but they are more interested in discussing other things. The product is very good, the data from the clinical trial shows, and it effectively treats a very important condition. But they are not interested. Again, here you have to probe and ask more questions in order to understand why they lack the interest in discussing what you think a breakthrough that will treat a rare condition. And after doing this, after doing the analysis and visiting multiple key opinion leaders, you identified the root cause of the problem. Key opinion leaders are not interested in this new medication because, first, they rarely see the condition, and second, because they find it very difficult to diagnose this condition because they don't have the tools to diagnose it. And of course, if these two reasons exist, the third reason will be that they don't have enough information about the disease itself and how to diagnose it and manage it. And this is another knowledge gap. So they think it's very rare, more rare than it is. They are facing challenges in the diagnosis, and they don't have enough knowledge how to manage these conditions. So, after a few visits with the key opinion leaders, what are the insights that you will bring from this? These are insights that can make your organization busy for an entire year or a semester or more. You identified lack of infrastructure to diagnose the condition. Now it's the job of your colleagues in the marketing and in the commercial to develop the infrastructure, or in your or the medical can do this as well. Two, you have identified a gap in the in knowledge. So different educational strategies can be implemented in order to close this gap of knowledge. You have identified a false perception that the disease is very rare and we don't see the cases. But actually, the reality is that they don't search for the cases because they lack the tools to diagnose the condition. In this case, you will have to do education and you will have to have the tools available to diagnose. And you will have to train them not only on the disease or the condition, but probably on how to use the laboratory techniques or how to read them and how to use the certain tools or devices that are mandatory to treat the condition. In this case study, we will discuss a very common scenario. Your organization has recently launched a product and you were given the responsibility to do the pre launch activities and the post launch medical activities. After the launch, you have received the concern from different key opinion leaders that the drug looks very nice from the clinical data perspective. It shows high efficacy, high safety standards. However, it's very expensive and we cannot buy it, or our patients cannot have access to this medication. So, what is the right medical insight in this scenario? We need to dig deeper and do the analysis first. A new drug, excellent efficacy, excellent safety. However, still there is an objection that patients cannot buy it and there is a need for reducing its price. Very common scenario. First, we have to probe and ask questions. Why patients are perceiving it as an expensive? So maybe they don't see the value out of it. So this is a potential for an actionable insights to educate patients. Or maybe the patients really cannot afford having this medication because the price is too high. Then maybe your insight will call for an action from your access colleagues or from your marketing colleagues, depending on the probing questions to identify why patients cannot access or have access to the product. Is it lacking the understanding of its value? Is it the high price? Is it the need for a patient program to support the patients having access to the medication? Is it a pharmacoeconomic study that is needed? So it doesn't stop at understanding that the price is high. Don't write the medical insight that the product is perceived high cost or patients cannot afford buying the medication. This is not a meaningful insight. The meaningful insight is to dig deeper and understand from different key opinion leaders you are engaged with what's the concern behind not being able to take the medication or to buy the medication. Do we need an access program or a patient advocacy program? Probably. So this is helpful whenever anyone in your organization reads this insight. They will customize it to see what best they can do in order to tackle the access issue. The last case study that I want to share with you is related to medical strategies. Again, it's a common scenario, but let's now focus on how to capture the DFOs, the data, facts, and observations, and how to write it in a way that can generate meaningful medical insight. We are working on a new product once again. The product has a wealth of data from phase 3 clinical trials, proving the efficacy and safety. And here, when you started visiting the key opinion leader, you got a cumulative feedback or an observation that they are reluctant to prescribe the medication. And you couldn't identify the reason why they are reluctant to prescribe the treatment to their patients. So the patients need the medication has proven evidence that it works well and it has safety parameters that are very assuring. But the problem is that many healthcare professionals or physicians, they are looking to have long-term safety data, 5 years or beyond. Sometimes, and again, once again, very specific to new innovative medications, those medications that have rather complex mechanism of actions or have some biologic reactions in order to generate them, physicians get little bit concerned about how this will impact the human being body after 5 or 10 years. We don't know, and we don't have enough data. So if this is the case and you are still in the launch phase, as a medical person, you have to either initiate real world evidence data to let the key opinion leaders participate in monitoring the safety and the efficacy of the medication, or you can use data from different sites. The point here is that knowing and identifying the root cause once again from the DFOs is the critical success factor to have meaningful medical insights. In the next episode, we will focus on how to transfer or to translate the medical insights into actions, actionable insights, where this is considered the ultimate goal of the key opinion leader engagements. So stay tuned. Looking forward to meeting you soon. Thank you. Bye.